And then you also have talked to people at, for instance, the Vegas Strong Resiliency Center, which Terry's here from. The whole reason for that was 1 October, Terry.
Yes.
Explain the Resiliency Center to us, your mission, your services, and how people can get help.
The Resiliency Center is a free and confidential referral and resource hub for anyone who was impacted by that night in any way.
How many victims has the center seen just in the year?
Well, as far as people who have registered with the VSRC, there have been over 7,000 people who have contacted the center and registered and let us know that they were a part of that or somehow impacted.
And when they come to you, what are the services that they're requesting the most?
The services that are requested the most, I think, are legal services, of course, applying for victims of crime benefits, and counseling and supportive services.
Denise, what's the workload been like at your center since 1 October?
Well, we offer the longest free support group for the victims and their families, and we have had really amazing results with those programs, or with that program. We also are now growing, and we're one of the only behavioral health care hospitals that actually have an exclusive first responder unit. And so we're working directly with the fire chief for the city of Henderson, with Clark County, to let their men and women know that and Metro, and even the dispatchers, a lot of people don't realize the DOT were involved. So many first responders were involved, to let them know that we're offering help, to help with PTSD, and the treatments are proven. And we also have good aftercare programs in our outpatient services, because it's not just about, it's going through the very specialized intake process, but it's also the aftercare and reminding them how to get through the triggers and how to cope with the PTSD.
And Michelle, you're with the Victims of Crime program, which is very, very important. Explain that program to us too, for people who might not know.
Sure. The Victims of Crime program has been around approximately 30 years. And it's designed to serve victims, whether they're from Nevada or not, of violent crimes. We have, in the past, it's a state-funded agency. We have federal grants as well. Now we do have grants in place specifically for Route 91. But we're different than the crowdfunding or the Vegas Strong. That is provided individuals with a lump sum payment, similar to 9/11 or to the Pulse nightclub shooting. We pay specific benefits, such as lost wages, medical care, counseling, replacement of lost glasses, items like that.
You have a deadline fast approaching, don't you? Very important deadline.
Yes. Filing deadline for victims of crime benefits is 1 year from the date of the crime. So we are accepting applications up until 11:59 p.m. on October 1.
Okay, so let's go through the application process, because a lot of people are curious. Who can fill out the application? Does it have to be the victim or the survivor?
No, anybody can help them fill it out. And in fact, quite a few were filled out by relatives or by our compensation officers have helped fill them out. Obviously, the one online is just, check the box, fill in the information.
What kind of information do they need to come prepared with?
They need to come prepared with name, address, phone number, any insurance information if they have it. Unlike our other crimes that we've dealt with under this program, we have an application that's specifically designed for Route 91. So they don't need a police report, they don't need a description of the incident, it's already pre-filled out for them.
Is there help either in person or online for someone who may not quite understand the application?
Yes, over at the Resiliency Center, we have had one of our compensation officers on site since they opened. Anybody's welcome to come into our office to call, but the Resiliency Center has been probably our biggest asset in assisting people who may either be too traumatized to fill it out or don't quite understand the application.
Do you need health insurance? Do the people need health insurance who apply?
No, not at all.
And How do they, is there a scoring process, an assessment that they have to go through? In other words, can they be turned down?
Individuals have been, but each compensation officer is in charge of a certain amount of files, and they review each file for eligibility. And as of noon today, we have accepted, or we have 5,118 applications.
And this is a tough question, but do you think enough people have filed, or do you have any way of knowing?
I think that that's probably the difficult part, because the victims were from all over the country, from Canada, from Mexico. In the past couple weeks, the Resiliency Center, Clark County, and our office have undertaken a fairly substantial media campaign to try and get the word out.
And do you anticipate a lot of people coming in at the last second?
I believe that we will have quite a few. We've already seen a great increase in phone calls to the Resiliency Center and emails to our office.
And you're prepared?
Yes, we are.
Okay, that's great. Lachey, you're advocate. You're a survivor. You're advocating for survivors. You're advocating for victims. You know everyone here. Okay. Quickly, tell us the path you went through to get the emotional help you were seeking.
At the beginning, and no disrespect to anyone at the table here, I went over to the Resilience Center. When I first went, I felt humiliated. When I first went, I did not feel as though, as a survivor, you were there for me, meaning not compassionate. I told my story 7 times in one day.
Is this at the Resiliency Center? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I was there over 7 hours, and I walked out with nothing. I was furious. I was also told, if you find a place where you can go stay for $400 a month, we will be able to assist you. It was almost like romper room, if you will. I went to one door, to the next door, to the first aid, to VOC, to Metro. And I thought, I've been here 8 hours, and I don't know no more than what I knew when I walked in the door.
And I want to go to Terry in just a minute, but where did you go next?
After that, I emailed Rebecca, and I said,
At where?
VOC,
Okay.
I'm giving the runaround.
She is our program manager.
Okay.
I need help. I'm getting phone calls, and I'm referring people. They're frustrated, and they're turning around.
And then where did you end up after that?
I ended up receiving an email with Desert Behavior the beginning of January that has been offering me free counseling 1 time a week ever since.
And Denise, that's when you took over.
Yes,
Your
and I've been
group.
with her since the day one.
Day one.
Yes, and that's the thing, is you have to get help. You have to be ready, and you have to ask for help and find a resource. And kudos to you for doing that, because you are actually helping other people by sharing your story. So yes.
How long was this after the event, after the incident?
3 months.
3 months?
It was
Okay.
December.
Okay, and so now circle back to Terry. Okay, were you there at the Resilience?
I was not.
You were not there
No.
at that point. So you're speaking kind of in the third person. Given her story and what she just said, have things changed? Are things different now?
I believe things have changed. When people call, we will talk to whoever calls, and we try to gather as much information we can so that we can figure out what it is that they need and find it for them or get them sent in the right direction. Yes.
And Lachey, you went back. You actually went back
I
to
went
the
back
Resiliency Center.
because I went for financial assistance. They scheduled me an appointment to see first aid, and I'm thinking, I'm here for financial assistance. Why am I going to first aid? 3 weeks later, I went to first aid, and I received a complete physical. I'm still trying to figure out, what does my financial assistant need to do with having a physical? I said, please don't touch my shoulder and please don't touch my ankle if you're not a profession in that area. I already know my ankle is fractured. She said, this is a part of the process. I said, okay, someone will call you in 2 weeks. They called me in 2 weeks and said they had no funding. I went back to the Reliance Center and I said, I want to speak to Eugene and I'm going to sit here all day. How can you refer me somewhere? You scheduled me an appointment, you know what I needed, and I received a physical. I don't need a physical, I need finances.
How did it finally work out?
He says, I'm going to go speak to the manager, and I believe her name was Terry. He went to go get Terry, and Terry said, I'm at lunch. I will give her a call later. No one called me. So 2 weeks later, the first aide called me, and she says, how can we help you? I said, I'm the one that came in and you gave the physical to, but I have insurance. Do you have finances? Because I got a 5-day notice that I'm about to be evicted. She says, we don't have any funding.
So what did you do?
I pulled over and I said, how do you feel working for a company that is not standing by and doing what is right? How? I called Kyle and I went to therapy.
And Kyle was with who, just to be clear?
Kyle is with Desert
Okay.
Behavior.
With Denise. Okay.
I walked in and I seen all the Las Vegas Reliance paperwork and I put it in the trash and I said, I will not advocate for them. I had the opportunity to speak at UNLV with Dr. Annie, and by giving that platform, VLC was in the room. They heard what I said.
And that's when
The
it moved back to the
next day they
resiliency side.
called me and things started happening. I said, we are victims. I came in here and told you my story 7 times. It's your job to find resources for us that's valid.
So what do you think of the Resiliency Center now?
I love the Resilience Center now. And I don't know if there's a whole new staff in there, but now. Legal aid was there. Robert Gibson helped me stay into my home. They took charge from a TENS unit that I need, a high blood pressure machine that I need. I'm having surgery tomorrow. Rebecca, and there was a Eugene that was absolutely awesome. And they said to me, we're just calling to see how you are doing. And I said, you deserve your position because you care.
And I know, Terry,
I
you want to
feel
respond to
it.
this too.
I feel it in my heart. You care.
Yeah, our call center staff, I mean, Eugene is great, and I go to him with questions all the time and ask him about people who are asking me if they're potentially eligible, and we figure out how to make that work. And our call center staff, they are calling people back on a regular basis for check-ins.
I should ask you too, Terry, are there any applications where the deadlines are coming up soon, or can they go in basically anytime after October 1?
The Resiliency Center will continue to be there after 1 October and will continue to offer services. There's no deadline for registering with the center or contacting us to find out what's available to help them.
What kind of services will be most important after the anniversary? And I kind of want to ask everybody that,
So
because
that's a good question.
that could be a trigger.
Because, well, here's the thing. So that's really valid. So a part of Lachey's progress in moving forward and getting through her PTSD has been, we are actually very excited. We're partnering with TRI, which is Trauma Recovery Yoga, with Darwin and Joyce Bozen. And they're having really great results using this new form of yoga that helps with our 911 dispatch, which is helping with the coroner's office. We're going to be having them in our facility to offer this great yoga. And it's all now, at this point, it really is pulling out those well-being modalities that we have in our toolbox, those things to help us through the triggers. And so being able to seek for this trauma recovery yoga is amazing. Also, there's a lot of people are using the tapping, the tappers. Weighted blankets are amazing. I have heard over and over again. I work a lot with social media, and I hear from all the groups that those 3 modalities, EMDR, tapping, and the weighted blankets, help you sleep at night so that you feel comforted and safe.
Terry, real quickly, you've got to coordinate a lot of these efforts with the behavioral health centers. That's a huge job. How's it going?
It's going. It is a lot of work and a lot to do, a lot to be done with all of the different groups, the first responders, survivors, family members of victims, and the community in general.
Lachey, I've got 30 seconds, and you get the last word.
They will pay
does the
for
yoga
it.
work?
The tappers, the bio tappers, VOC will pay for it. The best sleep I've had is when Try came to my home, because a part of your healing is you have to find that safe place. And I have not been safe in my home for 10 months. And now that I'm doing Try Yoga with Joyce, I'm able to sleep finally in my bedroom.
Good for you. One last question, then we do have to go. How will you observe October 1st?
I do not know. I know that I will not be alone. And I'm calling my girlfriends to come over and we can play Scrabble or Monopoly. I will not be out of my home because my house now is my safe haven.
When I watched the other ladies greet you today, I think we can definitely say you won't be alone, ever.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I know this has not been easy for you, but thank you very much, Lachey. And keep up the great
I'm
work for
here for the
advocates, too.
58 angels.